Hi guys, happy Tuesday afternoon. Day's been crazy, a little tired, went to work, did the same old, It's got me crazy like usual. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing good. I was going to do something a little bit different today, and I don't know, if this is something that, I don't know, it's just kind of crazy to me. I've always couldn't understand, racism in general. I remember, growing up, you know, and I'm Hispanic. I'm Hispanic. I'm in the middle of the, it's like I'm I'm Hispanic, and that's definitely what I am. And I think everywhere there's different cultures, different views, different people, but to me, we're all the same. To me, I think we're all the same level just because our skin color is different from the person might be sitting next to us doesn't mean we're any different. The one thing I think about a lot, I remember going to, whenever I was in Vegas one time and I went through the bodies exhibit. And it was actually pretty cool. I don't know if anybody's ever been through the bodies exhibit, but it just basically kind of shows you, they have, bodies that have been donated to science and stuff, but without your skin on. And you see, it shows you kind of like all your muscles, your veins and everything. And I think, okay, you take the skin off and everybody's exactly the same. That's what I don't get. And the one thing I also think is we all have the same emotions. Most of everybody. We all hurt. We all cry. We all laugh. We all, if we lose a loved one, it's sad. If somebody's born into our family, we're happy. I think everything's the same. Tragedy, circumstances, everything. Everybody's the same. And like I said, y'all know that I'm a big Eminem fan, but I like, so many other hip hop artists as well. Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z. I like him. I'm not a huge fan, but it has nothing to do with I don't know. I don't know. He's good, but I don't know. I'm not a big listener of Jay-Z, or I don't even really I really don't even like Drake. I don't listen to a lot of Drake stuff. For me, I don't know what it is, and it's just because he doesn't resonate with me. That's all it is. Has nothing to do with anything else. I think different people like different music and different artists for different reasons. It's because either for some reason they touched you. That's the glory and that's the whole wonderful thing about being a free people. We have the choices. We have the choices to be able to like what we want, follow who we want, and do what we want. It just doesn't make sense, And this morning I was watching quite a bit of stuff. Well, I've actually been watching quite a bit of stuff because I watched Royce to 5'9". I watched his interview, when he got on, I guess, I don't know if it was Instagram Live or what it was that he jumped on and was confronting kind of Lord Jamar about, Lord Jamar just always constantly put Eminem down. And I thought he had a lot of good points that he had to say. I really do. I mean, it's like he's right. Everybody should be one and lifting each other up and supporting one another, not bashing each other down. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't really matter. And it all comes back down to, I guess, race. That's basically, what it is. I remember my dad taught me. My parents taught us that everybody's, and I've seen this. Somebody told, and this is, I had a friend. Well, it wasn't really a friend. It was just an acquaintance, and I basically said, my parents taught us that I was no better or no less than anybody. You know, if somebody doesn't like me, that's fine. You know, I don't have to worry about what they think, what they say. If they don't like me, they can move on. You know, I try my hardest to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Everywhere you go, there's different people, different cultures. Where I live, there's not a whole bunch. I live in northern New Mexico. I'm close to the border of Colorado, but I live amongst probably the biggest Indian tribes. The Navajo Nation. The Navajo Nation is just right down the road. You also have the Hickory Apache, the Southern Utes. So around me, we have it's a bunch of Native American, Hispanic, Caucasians. There's not a whole lot of African Americans around. Very few of different cultures. We're not like a huge melting pot like of all kinds of different ethnicities, like maybe New York, California, Florida. But it's you know, it's still the same. You know, I think, you know, it's basically we're all the same. We just happen to come from, we just have different lineages, different cultures. But it doesn't mean that we cannot share in one another's love of their culture. I mean, my dad grew up outside by the Hickory Apache Nation, and what he loved about, you know, growing up out there, is he introduced us to powwows, and you know, we would go every summer to the Little Beaver Roundup and the Native American powwows, and I think they're just amazing. I love to see their costumes, their dance, their culture, listen to their drum groups. I mean, it's just something that's so amazing. Another, I want to do a reaction video to a group that I just found recently, and they're actually like, what would you say, like way old, like Viking music and stuff from way back then, and I just love it. I'm just like, oh wow, I don't understand a lot of what they're saying. I kind of have to read some of the comments where some people will explain, you know, that know more about it than I do. But I think it's so great that we can all, you know, kind of share in each other's cultures and learn about one another without having to put, you know, people down. But then I get on, you know, this morning, and while I'm getting ready for work, and like I said, I like to listen to a lot of different things. But then I seen that Lord Jamar, he got on and had some stuff to say to Royce to 5'9", and I just think it's crazy because from what I gather from some of his interview, I think we'll listen to some of it and then we'll discuss it.
It was old, actually. Digger hit me up like, yo, did you see the shit about Royce? I thought it was an old video. But no, it's a new one. It's a new one. Although nobody, you know, when I do videos, people don't really ask me about you, Royce. You know, they ask me about Eminem, but for some reason, you like to respond. Okay, I get it. You're, you know, you're a loyal guy. You've been opening up for this guy for years and years, and, you know, the hip-hop shop and all that shit you was talking about. I hear you. Yeah. So let's get into it. You know, because it's like, it's almost passive aggressive in a way. You know, he definitely tries to get aggressive sometimes, which he needs to calm down. But, you know, he calls me a legend in the beginning of the video, right? let's unpack that real quick. Okay, so the reason why people may know or might not know, but the reason why he would call me a legend and my group legendary is because when Brand Nubian came out, which is the group I come from, our debut album received 5 mics in the Source. At that time, the Source was the hip-hop motherfucking Bible. And to get 5 mics was like, not many people had done it at that time. Later on, the publication went down. They started giving them mics away. But at that time, getting 5 mics in the Source was some shit. Also, when we came out, our shit was everywhere. Like, the hood was fucking with us. The suburbs was fucking with us. From the jails to the college dorms, black people, white people, like, everybody was fucking with Brand Nubian when that shit came out. And it was a legendary time. This was a time when people would go buy your tape and you knew who had the most poppin' album because niggas is riding around the street and all you hear is basically one album. Or certain albums that was popping at that time. And our album was one of the main joints when you in Harlem, Brooklyn, whatever the fuck you was at, they was playing our fucking shit. Our run was legendary. like our impact was legendary. We made knowledge of self, having knowledge of self cool, palatable. I mean, people came before us that had knowledge of self. Rakim made it super cool, and King's Son, and there's a whole bunch of Big Daddy Kane. You know what I mean? But when we came with it, I don't know, we went just a little deeper and just made it a little more palatable for some people, And a lot of people end up getting knowledge of self through fucking with our music. That's part of what made and what makes Brand Nubian so legendary, and why dude would even start out, his whole rant about that and say that, So thank you and respect for acknowledging me, acknowledging what has been done, what I've done in this game as a legend. Thank you. I appreciate that. So pretty much, I've been done mad interviews about where they ask me about Eminem. I really don't give a fuck about Eminem, to be honest. Like, he's not someone I'm really thinking about. The only reason
I don't buy that. I don't buy that from Lord Jamar, that he don't give a crap about Eminem, because that's all that seems to be on his mind constantly. It's, why do they always have to ask him about Eminem? Why can't he just say, before interview, I don't care about him. This is not what, this is not what I want to discuss when I come and sit on your couch and have an interview. Now, to me, he cares too much about Eminem. That's the problem he has. He cares too much about what's going on with him, with the impact that M has made and the people that he's touched, and not just, I don't get it. Not just any type, not just, like he said, with his group, and he had to be in a group apparently, because apparently his album didn't do well. The only album I think he had, just one or whatever, didn't do good. you know, so he had to be with a group. But I think the problem with him, it is straight up racist. He's straight up racist, period. And maybe I think it has a lot to do with envy. I honestly do. I think he has a lot to do with the fact that he's jealous. He's just totally jealous with the stats, because Eminem has the stats to prove it. I mean, he has the stats to back it up. You know, with sales, and he's like, you take the white people sales away. No, no, he's still a gifted lyricist. He's still a freaking gifted lyricist. That's what doesn't make sense to me. And he can sit there and say all day long that he doesn't care about Eminem. Bull crap. You could tell it, because he seems to be just consumed by making sure everybody does not say that Eminem is one of the top lyricists, rappers out there. You know, it's driving him crazy. I think that's what it is.
That I bring him up is because you have white people that will say Eminem is the GOAT of hip-hop based upon his record sales. That's the only problem I have. That's the only problem I have. Not that, do I think he's a top-tier lyricist, just rhyme speaking? Yes, I've said that multiple times. How many fucking times do I have to fucking say it? Like, the guy puts words together well. But I think what really prompted this newest video was the fact that, my man DJ Vlad, who so many people love to hate, asked the brother Conway, okay, shout out to that whole Griselda movement. I'm fucking with it. He asked the brother Conway, who should I listen to? Who's an MC that I respect and fuck with. He asked him, basically all the shit that I said about, Eminem being a guest in the house of hip hop. And also, does the hood listen to Eminem? Now, he disagreed with me as far as Eminem being a guest in the house of hip hop, okay? But he did agree with me of the fact that niggas in the hood don't really listen to Eminem, okay? Now, I could say live niggas, and live niggas, okay, for the record, doesn't mean just niggas that sell drugs or whatever. There's plenty of live niggas that's working niggas. You understand what I'm saying? That work regular jobs and all that. Live niggas is just who you are inside. We as black people are inherently, okay, live niggas. But you got some corny niggas out here. But in general, black people don't fucking listen to Eminem. It's not a fucking diss. It's a fucking fact. And
where do you think he's getting his facts from? Is he going and asking every individual African American whether they listen to Eminem or not? How's he getting his facts? That's what I would like to understand. Where's he getting his facts? I think a whole lot of people listen to Eminem. And it should be just people. Why does it have to be, that's what I never understood is, it's like, and people probably come at me and say, well, you don't know what it's like to be in the hood. Don't oppress yourself. Don't keep yourself down that way. And that's what I think he's trying to do. It's like, saying, hood people have to be hood, I guess. Whatever you take hood at being, to me, I think it's people that they want to see in jail, never make anything out of their lives, not be successful. That's how I think he's portraying hood people. You know, why does it have to be that way? Why does it have to be that way? It shouldn't have to be that way. You know, to listen to, you know, it's just crazy to not to think that, you know, that's the one thing I don't get is the hood and what he says about that, because it sounds to me like he's trying to dumb these people down and keep them dumbed down. You know, and I think what Royce was trying to say is, gosh, like he says, by the time we as African Americans have the information out there, we're already behind the eight ball, which is true. So, but that's what I'm trying to say is he's not. I think with Lord Jamar, he's not trying to lift his, you know, his people up and you know, say, hey, there's you don't, you know, that's the whole thing I keep coming back to is like, what is it that makes it so wrong for people to try to do better than themselves? You know, whether you're a white intellectual, black intellectual, Hispanic intellectual, Asian, oh my gosh, there's so many different races out there, but I hardly ever look at that. You know, I don't ever try to look at that and say that, because to me everybody's the same. You know, the reason I listen to Eminem is he gets you to use your brain. You know, he keeps my brain going, and that's what I like about it. You know, because a lot of the times, you know, people say, you know, half the time that when people are reacting to Eminem's videos and they're like, you missed half of those bars, you missed half of what he was saying. Well, yeah, but that's why you keep going back and listening to it and try to, you know, because every time you hear something, even some of his old stuff that I listen to, that I go back to, I'm like, oh, okay. You know, it took me this long to get it. But he gets you to thinking. But there's all kinds of people out there. But that's the one thing with Eminem. The one thing with Eminem is he gets me to think. And he gets you to use your brain. And I think he was one better for hip hop. He's telling you could pull yourself out of anything, and I think that's a lot of his stuff. Lord Jamar here sits here and wants to, I think he is wanting to keep his people dumbed down. And if you cannot listen to good hip hop, you cannot do this unless you're hood. You know, that just doesn't make sense to me. That drives me totally crazy. I'm not going to give the man any more, you know, go through any more of it. I think he kind of sit there and saying black people just don't